And sticking with singles is Kodai Naraoka. He was able to win the tournament. He beat, actually, it was an all Japanese final. He beat Kenta Nishimoto in the final. So, what a great day for Japanese badminton in that respect. Now, for me, all I'm going to say, and I did a Instagram post on this, is Kodai-san, can we see you playing the way you did at Kumamoto Masters more often, please? You were a man on a mission this week, and the attacking badminton, the speed that Naraoka was playing at was ridiculous. As in, like, Kodai's always been capable of this. I mean, the guy's got calves for days. He's just built, and I can remember the junior days. He was always someone that could drag matches out and could run you, but had insanely good, sharp skills, but really quick on his feet. Like, he could play really, really fast and very attacking badminton, but we just haven't really seen much of it. We've seen glimpses here and there, and I've done videos where I've gone, is this it? Maybe this tournament again is another one of those flash in the pans. For whatever reason, he decided this week to be more attacking. But I mean, I'm sure he doesn't watch these videos, but I'm sure I'm not alone in imploring him that we want to see more of this, because I've always compared Kodai to Yamaguchi. So, like, he's the men's singles version of Akane Yamaguchi. You know, quite short in stature, very good retrieval skills. Even like the way they play is quite natural and fluid, and just, really, really nice to watch. And has got great touch and great ability to retrieve, retrieve, retrieve. But you can't win consistently by playing that way. And that's what Yamaguchi, when she went for a good period and what she's been doing recently, when she won her back-to-back world titles, her All England titles, and when she's obviously this year won the world title again, it's been her attacking play layered into that retrieval skills and her ability to play fast and creatively and proactively. That's what's always given Akane Yamaguchi her best results. And I think the same is for Naraoka. In fact, even more important in men's singles. I think the days of the long, drawn out rallies and all that kind of stuff, it just isn't conducive of consistently good results, because you're just going to end up tiring yourself out. And sometimes we've actually seen that happen from Naraoka quite a lot. So yeah, it was really good to see the way that he was playing in this tournament. It was just, his skills were on full display. His ability to what he can do variety wise from the front of the court. When I watched him live at the Badminton Excel event, I really got a better kind of idea of it. It was, when you see it live, you can see all the little subtle reverse slices and all this stuff. On TV, it doesn't come across as much, but watch it live. I'm sure if any of you watched him live, you can see that he's got so many good skills. The final against Kenta Nishimoto was the only match where he actually got taken to 3 games. And actually, I think this is where there's going to be a fine line for Naraoka in terms of his attacking style. In every match up until that final, he almost blasted players off the court, not by like brute force, but just pure speed. No one could keep up with him. They just were not able to keep with the speed. If they played to net, he was there early. If they lifted it, he would like attack it and then he'd from nowhere cross it. And it was like a whirling dervish on that court. And the players just simply couldn't handle it. Against Nishimoto, that's the way it went. The first game, it was exactly like that. And I was like, okay, here we go. It's going to be another 2-game easy win for Kodai Naraoka. I just don't think Nishimoto could maintain. I don't think he had the speed to keep up with him. And Naraoka looked insanely focused. He was fist pumping, all this kind of stuff. But in the second, I think Nishimoto was a little bit more prepared for it. And I think Naraoka almost attacked too much. And it lost a little bit of its potency. He wasn't attacking with as much variety. He was attacking a bit obviously, a bit flat, and Nishimoto was able to twist and turn Naraoka and get him playing a little bit low. Obviously, Naraoka's fast enough to kind of collect those shots, but he's then Nishimoto from those situations. If he can defend a little bit easier, then he's not having to work as hard, and he can control Naraoka. And you could kind of see Naraoka's like tempo completely drop. He just, whether it was a little bit of fatigue, probably, but Nishimoto, I think because Naruka was a little bit too gun ho, and Nishimoto possibly, obviously, knows Naruka probably better than others, was a bit more not as surprised by certain shots. He was able to counter Naruka very well. And actually, when I was watching this, I was like, this is going to set up for quite an interesting third game, because I thought, oh, will Naruka try and revert back? Will we see him go back to his older style and kind of grind out the third game? But actually, in the third game, I thought that Naruka kind of combined his styles quite nicely. And that's actually, if you watch the third game of the final, I think that's kind of where Naruto can go. I think against lesser opponents, players that maybe aren't as defensively as good or can't live with his speed, he could blast them off the court. But against obviously the better players, the top ones, your Shiuchis, your Kundebuts, Antonsons, all those kind of players that not only can match it, but are quite good in the counter game. I think the way that Naroka played in the third is actually kind of the style that I think he should try to use um, a little bit more often. There were some odd rallies where he would try to do the longer rallies, but I think there was a kind of decision behind that. It was kind of to take away the legs of Nishimoto, because I would notice that he would do like a longer rally, a really long, grueling rally, not super slow, but long. And then like the next rally or two, he'd go in to attack again. And then, so it's kind of like mix and match of trying to kind of throw Nishimoto's rhythm. And I've always felt that, Naruto can use those long rallies to grind opponents, maybe take their legs away a little bit. I know it's going to affect him as well, but then he can kind of shift on it and go back to that attacking. It's all about blending and finding that balance, and it's always going to vary depending on who he's playing against. Last thing I'll say about Kodai Naraoka, which is something that he has to bear in mind, because I know Jill Clark mentioned this quite a lot, is that he's known, and he does take quite a long time between points. I think in that third game, I think Jill kept saying that's 1 minute between the rallies, or that's 54 seconds. That's almost a mid-game interval. Now, I will say, I think there's a reason. Some of the rallies before those were insanely long, but Naraoka is known for taking his time between points. So obviously, when the stop clock is implemented, I think a lot of players are going to be affected by that. But Naraoka maybe needs to consider that. Would be quite an interesting thing of him. Can he sustain that attacking speed and that style under those conditions? I'm sure if he's training for it, he will be able to. But it'll be maybe quite interesting to begin with. So yeah, no, I'll finish by saying that it was really good, refreshing to see Kodai Naraoka play the way that he did. And I do think that that third game in the final against Nishimoto is kind of the approach that he's going to have to do. I was thinking about what caused him to play like this. What was the reason behind him suddenly changing his style? And not only that, but far more vocal. Naraoka's quite a chill guy usually, always laughing and joking. Doesn't seem to be someone that takes things overly seriously. And I think I chalked it up to two reasons. One is it was in Japan, and obviously he wanted to do well. And two, I think World Tour finals were on the line. I think him, Lakshya Sen, and Low Kinyu were all pretty close, and they were all doing quite well in the tournament. So I think he saw that he had to win this tournament or get a really deep run to kind of confirm his spot. And obviously, winning this, I'm not sure if it's confirmed it. I think he is playing Australia this week to try to finalize that spot. Obviously, Lakshya Sen got to the semi-finals. And so obviously he's still probably in the running. And Loki knew, what did he get to the quarterfinals? So possibly, if either one of those two wins in Australia or does really well and Naroka doesn't do too well, then it'll be interesting. And then I think obviously that last spot in the men's singles is still up for grabs. So it'd be quite interesting to see how it goes in the Australia Open. Probably we'll be talking about that same time next week.